Good evening from Swansea, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, your one-stop shop for professional wrestling insight news and reviews on a daily basis. And it is a Monday, which means it is Mailbag Monday. We are answering your WrestleMania hot takes today. It should certainly be a fun one. And you know what I like to say, for a fun show, I need a fun panel. And boy, oh boy, do I have one. First things first, let's introduce Clark Taylor. How are you today, Clark?
Happy Mania Week to everyone out there. We made it, everyone. It's time. I'm excited. We are this close. It's Mailbag Monday. We've got mail. It doesn't get any better than that. Just another Magic Monday. I will take it every day of the week. I like Mondays more than the average guy, Ben, and I'm stoked about this one.
Absolutely. WrestleMania week. I am thrilled. The best week of the calendar year to be a wrestling fan, as I like to say. But also joining us today, all the way from Scotland, we have Soul.
What's up? I'm also excited about Mania week. I'm just not here yet. We'll see you in 5 minutes, Soul. The clock is ticking. Think about it.
Soul will be here very, very shortly.
Make it by the end of the show. I'm replacing him in the quiz.
He'll make it. He's on his way. We got DCX Warlord in the comments, and he's saying Christian Cage is the best wrestler alive. I can't disagree with that, honestly. He is undoubtedly up there. We got numero one Superfly in queue as well, saying happy Mailbag Monday, Wrestling Republic. And I believe we have a question submitted by you, numero one, as well to get to later on today. We also have Fernando saying happy Mania Monday, WR crew. Absolutely. And we have a great list of questions to get to.
We do. We also, I think we might have a third.
Ready. Is he ready?
Is he ready?
I think he's ready.
James.
He's ready. Yes, he's ready. Here he is. Soul. How are you today, Soul?
Yeah, sorry. This is a Christmas shirt as well. This is not a good look for me.
Merry Christmas, Soul.
Yeah, preparing months in advance. Sorry, fellas.
Long holiday.
Yeah, busy day here in the city. There's a lot of traffic going around. I went to the shops to grab a wee bit of hydration, and of course, I got stuck in it. But nonetheless, good to be here. Apologies for the lateness. Do want to shout out, obviously, Allison for the great work we've done with that collaboration on the Layla Hirsch clip. If people haven't checked it out, it's on the Rest of the Public Instagram page. Definitely made me open my eyes to a lot of things, a lot of negative things. Maybe I've fought on Mr. Khan now. So, thanks for that, Allison. That was a great clip we put together. Cheers to that.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, Soul on the Soul Sessions did an interview of Layla Hirsch, former AEW talent. And I mean, she spoke about that AEW departure, and Tony Khan basically ghosted her. There's no other way to really say it.
I gotta say though, Soul, you were 40 minutes away from me replacing you in the quiz. It was that close. I had it. I'm the backup. If you didn't make it, that's the rules.
You're trying to find a way in, Clark. You're trying to find a way in after losing. You got knocked out. You're done.
By the way, me and Soul will be in Las Vegas, Nevada in merely 3 days. 3.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm so excited for this, Clark. Obviously we've done this before with LA in the past. This is Vegas. It's like a step up city wise. Obviously, Welshman and Chaos won't be there. We'll drink to you in your honor. We might even get some cardboard cutouts and put them in the arena just so you're there in spirit. But
WrestleMania
Clark.
37 all over again.
I'm excited on behalf of the city of Vegas. I mean, you don't often get a wild American and a wild Scotsman like us two roaming the streets of Vegas.
We'll have a good time, bud.
Well, me and Chaos, you mentioned us all. We will be doing a watch along Saturday night for WrestleMania. Then Sunday, I believe it's going to be Geordie, Shard, and Drizzy doing a watch along. So we do have a lot of exciting things coming up, as well as some content from you guys over in the Vegas, which is last. Right, let's get straight into things, shall we? Because our first question today comes from my browser, which has decided to shut the tab. No, it is here. The first question comes from at Owen2Rose on Instagram, who says, whose hot take is Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins should be revealed as part of The Rock and Cena's faction. Now, I, for the longest time, have been saying that Drew McIntyre needs to be tied into all of this. I would love to see that. But Seth Rollins, that isn't one which I've necessarily thought about. Clark, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Will Seth Rollins join The Rock? I mean, he joined the Authority, right? We've seen him join the big guns in the past. McIntyre and Rollins? That seems a little bit like an Austin Triple H two-man power trip situation. Both? If and is the question, I think no, maybe or one or the other. I think we're more likely to get a Rollins and Heyman situation than we are a Rollins and Rock situation. McIntyre seems more likely to me because you can tell a story about sort of getting, overlooked for having your big moment with no fans and all of that, all these years since, all the work he's put in, his character arc as a whole. He's finally sick of it. He's finally going to go corporate or whatever, right? He's going to sell out to The Rock. I could see that with McIntyre before I could see it with Rollins.
Yeah, I do have to agree with you there. It does make a lot more sense, I think, for McIntyre's character as well. Although at the same time, Seth does need something. Maybe this could be that something. I'm not sure. Of course, Christopher Leclerc mentioning Jeff Cobb left New Japan Pro Wrestling today. I mean, I can't remember the last time somebody who was number one contender for the World Championship and one half of the tag team champions left the company. I mean, I really can't remember who that last time anyone
Funky
like
as
that
could be. It really is.
wild. But D6 Warlord says Clark needs to fulfill his promise by having Kobe lose the tournament.
I believe in both.
Prophecy.
David's got a shot. Soul's got a great shot. And we've also got Drizzy. We've also got Drizzy. There's chances. I think Soul can go get Kobe, though. I'm telling you, Kobe's not as good as you think he is. He got extra questions. He got all hot at the end. Watch how slow he started. Those early questions, you can get him. You can get him on the history. Current stuff, he's gonna get hot at the end. But we know the type of game he plays. Slow starter. Yeah. We've seen him. He's been scouted. I've been watching tape. I'm coaching up. I'm basically the cornerman for the rest of the tournament. So I've for everybody else in the bracket except Kobe.
There was people who wanted you to be the voice of the gods yesterday. They wanted you to be in Kobe's role. In 3 weeks' time, we might have to do that for when Kobe's competing next. You might need to be the fact checker in the background. K is in the chat. And Numero 1 says Drew and Seth won't join The Rock just yet. However, I expect CM Punk to align with The Rock to reveal he was The Rock's true champion this whole time. Would be an absolute wild twist of events. So I want to get your 2 cents on this. What do you think is going to go down?
Why is everyone still harping on The Rock?
What's happening here?
I haven't touched anything.
Here we are.
Look,
I think it was just StreamYard messing up.
Why is everyone harping on The Rock? Besides Elimination Chamber, what has his actual presence been on the product since then? He hasn't done the Mania, tour. He hasn't really done anything else at that point. He's only last seen at Elimination Chamber. I think wrestling fans are always harping on these big moments. There's a term in writing called Chekhov's gun. If his gun's shown in the first act, it should go off by the end of the third act. Now, not saying that is exactly this, but it's terminology of that. If we see something, it should have an end result. I think we had the end result of Rock basically not passing the torch or giving his position of what he couldn't be there to wrestle because he wants to go do movies and all that to Cena. So I think people are thinking like this is going to lead to a faction. It's going to be bigger than it is. How did everyone harped on about Shane McMahon joining AEW and leading Death Riders or taking over the company or taking over Ring of Honor? Some things don't have this grand payoff that you want it to have because that's just a fantasy. We have to focus on reality. So I don't think McIntyre or Rollins are going to join The Rock. I don't think anyone's going to join Cena in his little thing. This is Cena's year. This is Cena's year to tell hit as he wants, as a heel, and as champion, because I do think he's taking the belt off Cody. So it's that story to tell. It's not The Rock's, it's Cena's.
Do you know what? That is actually a very fascinating take. And perhaps that, could end up being what we see. But we will have to, I guess, wait and see on that one. But I mean, Clark, do you think maybe that is the case?
I'm so unsure on this. I wish I really had a take. I honestly would need, because here's the way I look at it is like Cena aligning with Rock has never been almost fully explained.
It hasn't
right?
at all.
Like at all. It's so I don't know about starting to add people to the group if we don't even know what the direction is. I would love to hear Cena explain why he aligned with The Rock, and then I'll have a better understanding of who fits alongside them than I do now. Because I mean, you look at The Rock bloodline storyline. If The Rock is going to be involved in storylines, it's going to be either around Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns. That's just the net of it. Those are the two matchups that everyone's thinking about.
What I'll say is, let's look at this as a business perspective. If you know The Rock's going to be at Mania in any capacity, would you really leave it off the advertising?
Good point.
Yeah, that's where it's really interesting. And it's like, so if The Rock is gonna, if this has something to do with Rock Cena building like a juggernaut type crew, I don't understand how it doesn't involve like a Jacob Fatu or somebody like that. That's vicious, and it doesn't make sense. That's from way outside, but it's got to link back to the bloodline somehow, because that's where The Rock needs to be if he's going to wrestle. Not likely this year, obviously. They're not booking that with.
No way.
One week potentially to go at 42 or a SummerSlam or something in the future.
Yeah. No, I'm going to be honest, Soul. I hadn't really considered that option. The fact of maybe The Rock really is, gone for the foreseeable future. And that's why they did that angle to, put the heat on Cena. I really hope that's not the case. Especially considering why was Travis Scott there then? Suddenly that makes even less sense than when The Rock was there.
Because he's a celebrity. This is the celebrity era. How many times have we been advertised Netflix stars on shows during Raws and SmackDowns? This is just the world wrestling is in right now, is that it's a media global empire connecting between different mediums, music, television, artists, everything across the board. He's probably just there. And as well, it kind of does make sense as well, because he has been advertised as one of the theme songs for WrestleMania since its first announcement after 40. So it kind of all lines in together.
True, I guess, but I just feel like I don't agree with some people who are saying Travis Scott needs to be there all the time. Obviously, he's not going to be.
No.
I thought the role in that was showing The Rock's Hollywood influence and really showing, he's the one, he's the puppeteer, if you want to use that terminology.
My favorite part about Travis Scott being there is, for everybody that was upset by it, it made it worse. So it did its job in that way. For anybody that was upset by what happened, Travis Scott's involvement, the punch to Cody, all of that. If your stance coming out of it was like, oh no, I can't believe Travis Scott made it worse in a way that landed, because it bothered people. Travis Scott, why is he punching Cody? I mean, there was a lot of ambulances on the streets that night when it came to Travis's involvement, and I think that's brilliant, and I love the idea of well, he needs to be there every week. No, he doesn't.
Have you seen,
because if he comes back, it's gonna bug you again.
That's true. Have you seen though, Clark? I'm not sure. We got some news in the last hour or so. Triple H has gone off on you in an interview.
I know.
He's done an interview where he said the internet's not real life, right? And the B word we cannot say, and the F word we cannot say, complaining that is on there is not real life. It's like, I'll use Cody as an example. Fans are saying on podcasts, Cody's already jumped the shark. He's dead as a baby face. He's like, really? Because I don't know. I'm in the arena with 10,000, 15,000 people every night going ape. Word I cannot say for him.
If what I'll say really quickly is, if Triple H thinks that the internet isn't real, then why did they pivot last year with the give Cody a chance thing?
I don't buy it.
I'm just saying.
I would just like to thank Triple H for the support, for watching the videos and everything he's done when it comes to that. For me, I think that means the world, and I'm just glad that, he's watching, whether it's fiction or fact. I'm just stoked and honored that he would address me directly in an interview like that. Monster shout out Triple H.
I'm going to clip that now. So for the first 30 seconds, everybody thinks you genuinely think it's about Triple H. But TCX Warlord says here, imagine Solo is with The Rock. And Travis Scott is Dennis Rodman in this. Fernando Zayas agrees and says Cody is still the top face. Of course he actually is, right? He undoubtedly is. That part of Triple H's comments, I agreed completely.
I thought he
with
was
him
the top
on.
heel for a while, but he's probably the top face now.
Kafka's case says, I understand The Rock was busy, but we could have at least seen Travis Scott. I do think we should have had that at least a little bit explained.
Isn't Coachella this week? He's probably playing Coachella.
Maybe. Why wasn't Triple H at Coachella then? Or like, why wasn't John Cena at Coachella?
He's not a musician. Oh, John Cena. John Cena.
He can like be going up and down the stage.
This isn't Rolling Loud. Let's have a match at a music festival
now.
that no one knows what's going on.
He just comes out in the middle of Travis Scott's concert and just starts just going off on the Coachella crowd, and then him and Travis Scott celebrate. Oh gosh, I wish they did that now. Opportunity missed, WWE. They would have loved that.
A swing and a miss. The Coachella crowd would have been all over that.
They would have loved it. Do you honestly reckon any of them in that attendance would have had a clue what's going on?
Well, no, I saw the Rolling Loud match. Like, no, they'd be like, what is happening here?
Honestly, I feel like if he
Coachella
just came outside insulting them, they wouldn't know what hit them.
Packs, like they have like water in their backpack and like they don't know what's going on.
He just come out in his full gear, so they're thinking, oh, it's the you can't see me guy. Ha ha ha, this is brilliant. And then he just starts digging into them. They should have done that. It would have been just the best thing Coachella's ever done in the history of Coachella.
It would have.
But up next, let's go to the next question, shall we? Because it is from Marco Zander on Instagram. And the question, or the statement, is Dom is pinning Finn Balor and becomes Intercontinental Champion. Now, I actually was speaking about this in the video I did the other day where I was responding to fan theories for WrestleMania. And I do think if Bron Breakker loses the Intercontinental Championship, this is what's going to happen. This is how they are going to do it. But here is the thing. I don't think Bron Breakker is losing the belt quite yet. What about you, Clark? What's your thoughts on this one?
I absolutely.
What is going on today?
It's because it's the way the show started. We shouldn't have done the soul joke where I was soul. It's what happened. We cursed it. It's karma. We deserved it. It's only fair. But either way, I'm just saying, I think this is how it's going to go down. Yeah. I do think that Balor takes a spear, maybe even a Mexican destroyer. And Dom takes advantage, but this is how it's going to go. Dom's going to pin Finn Balor. That's going to be the direction with the IC title. Balor's probably going to be the first challenger, and then you've got Bron Breakker headed to the world title scene, and that's fine. I don't know where Penta falls in this equation necessarily coming out of it. I do think he'll be the highlight of the match. Personally, I think that's pretty safe pick by me there. But at the same time, yeah, I do think Dom probably whatever. Everything goes awry, and suddenly you have a prone Finn Balor sitting in the middle of the ring. He hits a frog splash, takes all the credit in the world. People boo. It's going to be awesome. But that's how it's going to go down. Not to spoil my predictions before the prediction show, but I'll see you in 2 days and tell you the same thing.
Yeah, and then I might change mine up. Who knows? We will have to wait and see, no doubt about that. Got a few comments here. Josh Markowitz says too soon for Bron to lose the belt. Can't rush his world title reign. I completely agree with you on that one, but it is a 4-way. It's a good way to get it off him. Falls count anywhere says Dom pinning Finn would be wild. It undoubtedly would be a great moment. Fernando says that he believes Penta is winning the Intercontinental Championship and Bron Breakker will begin his march to the World Championship at SummerSlam, maybe through the King of the Ring tournament. I wouldn't hate that.
That'd be wild.
I like it.
I have no problem with that.
In that tournament. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure if I can see it happening. Numero one can, though. He says Dominic will pin Finn Balor to become the new IC champion, and he will honor his father's, Eddie Guerrero's, legacy by lying, cheating, and stealing everything from Finn. That would be quite funny.
I'm in agreement there. That's what I think's gonna happen.
There we are. I mean, Fernando says both Dom and Finn will cost each other the IC championship, and that will be what breaks the Judgment Day apart. That could equally be what happens. I do think that has to be the other. It's one of those two things, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Either Break is returning and we're going to get tensions between Dom and Finn, or Dominic Mysterio is winning the belt. But up next, let's go to the next question. In fact, before we do, we need to talk to you guys a little bit about Etsy. Now, if you guys haven't downloaded Etsy yet, make sure you go and do it. Download the Etsy app on the App Store or the Google Play Store and head to the upcoming stream section to see upcoming streams from us here at Wrestling Republic. I know Clark is involved in a few later this week. Honestly, it's really, really good. If you guys don't know what it is basically like a live stream, but you guys can get involved not just by commenting, but also by joining the actual video call too. You can show your face or have your camera off and just talk, one or the other, or you can just comment along if you do like it like that. But basically, it's a way more intimate discussion and stuff like that rather than an actual podcast. Get the app now. It's free. Download the Etsy app on the App Store or Google Play Store and head to the upcoming stream section. It is absolutely great. And honestly, the people over at Etsy are great, great guys.
And we'll be live, by the way, on Friday for a prediction show. That's going to be at 11 o'clock over here on the West Coast, 2 o'clock in the East, and then that's going to be 7 o'clock p.m.
Yeah.
So feel free to join that on Friday.
Awesome.
We had a blast on Sunday. The first half of it, we didn't even get through the whole card. We got through a few matches. We were having too much fun, right? Time constraints, so we said we're coming back with one more. So go ahead and join that one. It's gonna be a good time.
I'm hyped for that Friday. 4 p.m., not 4 p.m., 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, and 7 p.m. UK time. Definitely will be downloading. Well, I already have it, but if you haven't got it, download the Etsy app and tune in for that one. But up next, let's talk a little bit about Goldberg, because this question comes in from Jose99, who says, will Goldberg screw Gunther at WrestleMania to lead to Goldberg's retirement match? So I'm looking forward to getting your thoughts on this one out of the gates.
This is stupid. I mean, it goes back to what I said about the Rock thing earlier in this Chekhov's guns thing, right? Yeah, they had the interaction at, what was it, Bad Blood? That they had the interaction, and now everyone's harping on it like, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. Sometimes a moment's just a moment. Like, see if Goldberg did screw up Gunther. Main question here: what does it do for Jay? What does it do for Jay? Honestly, like somebody who's gone, I can beat Gunther, not this Jey Uso, but the main event Yeet Jey Uso. No, you didn't beat him. Gunther had to get squashed by Goldberg to have you come in and then get the pin. That doesn't help Jay in any capacity. Yeah, you set up a cool retirement match for Goldberg to get his final one where he does a jackhammer spear and then gets chopped and then he gets powerbombed and boom, you're done. That shouldn't be something that's wasted on WrestleMania where people are paying thousands of monies to come and see it or watching it all across the world. No, you don't need that. You definitely don't need it. Doesn't help the World Heavyweight Championship in any way. It makes Gunther look weaker than he's ever been. Yeah, I know he's had a bit of a bump recently with that Jimmy stuff that honestly very, very good. But like his continuous reign with his belt hasn't been good at all, in my opinion. It has been quite subpar, comparing it definitely to his Intercontinental reign. So to have Goldberg come out and defeat even a weakened champion for another guy who really needs an actual win properly, not by outside interference, it doesn't help anyone in this situation. If this does happen, it helps nobody.
Well, if it happens the way you just said it, Soul, I do agree with you. But I'm going to provide an alternate possibility, right? What if we know Jimmy Uso has been taken out, right? What if he's out for Mania? Everybody presumes he's going to come back at Mania. What if he misses even Mania, right? And what happens is Ludwig Kaiser gets involved. The referee's down. Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser are cheating together, taking down Jey Uso. and Goldberg helps even the odds. So he's not, just coming out and, screwing Gunther or whatever. He's helping even the odds. So Jay's got a fair chance. Would you then be on board for it?
The only problem I have with that is, minus the one interaction you've had at Bad Blood, there's been no continuation of this. If somebody has just came into the product now, they're going to be like, well, why is this big, bald Vin Diesel lookalike is now helping this Jay? Why is he doing that? Unless you've been watching since Bad Blood, you can make that connection, but there's been no follow-up of it. Goldberg hasn't said anything on WWE platforms or social media. Gunther hasn't even really referenced it at all. Nobody's mentioned it at all. So unless you've been watching since then, it will make sense. But if you're just jumping in, you have no correlation of who Goldberg is. I don't think it helps.
They'll know who Goldberg is. It's just to your point whether they know what happened at Bad Blood happened.
The one positive is if somehow what I don't want it to be is Goldberg just like shows up out of the crowd or something. It has to be a scenario where there's like a ref bump. And as you've mentioned, Kaiser's doing it so you can hear like the drums, like the don't, no. Right. No, right. Hit the pyro. Give us all of that Goldberg wise.
And then have a run down. The referee would be back by the time Goldberg does his entrance. Though.
Yeah, you probably think, but still, just like you got to hit the music. In Vegas, that would be pretty incredible to me.
I mean, I'll say this: like, I still don't think the idea is good in any factors. But if it's after Jay's beat Gunther clean, and Jay's doing a celebration, and Gunther's like readying to do a chop or spear him or something like that, and then you hear Goldberg's music. That I can be on board with because it allows Jay to get his moment, a clean win, and you set up something for Gunther in the future. You don't leave him hanging dry.
Yeah,
I would do that. If it's after the match, cool.
Fair enough. Numero one, though, he is doubling down. He's saying, I'm honestly expecting Gunther to screw expecting Goldberg to screw Gunther at WrestleMania to lead to his retirement match. Fernando is saying we have had stars win through interferences before and it didn't hurt their reign at all. And Numero one saying he likes my idea regarding how to get Gunther involved, but Fernando saying that he likes your idea, Soul, of having it happen after the match. And I do think that would be very, very good. We're going to break the fourth wall here for a second. Did somebody just change to my camera when I pressed the comment?
No.
I think what's happened is there's some new update on here, and when I'm pressing comments or whatever, it automatically puts you in the main one. And it's basically, guys, there's a ghost being
Wait,
produced.
Want me to press it? Let's see what happens. See, look, I stayed.
I was in Soul's camera. I pressed the one, and now I became the. Oh, I don't know.
I think your mouse is broken.
No, the mouse is fine because I'm not even on that button. It's a ghost.
Multiple mice in the house.
We have a ghost. The ghost of Wrestling Republic.
Ghost mice.
But
3 blind mice.
So as Wiggle6 is saying, be careful, Goldberg tucked down the Hitman. They're saying be careful, Soul, in case Goldberg comes for you next.
Oh, I'll just step out of the way.
Just come through your door. He's in Scotland, comes through the door, spear. I can't see that.
I'm not even allowed to comment on that anymore after what I said last time the subject was brought up.
What did you say last time?
I said Brett should have just got out of the way.
I think Brett's overrated anyway.
Sorry, it's terrible.
I just in 5 seconds I heard somebody say Bret Hart is overrated and that Bret Hart should have just gotten out of the way. Oh my gosh.
It's like what Kurt Hawkins said, you gotta face the facts.
Before I lose my rag, let's move on because DS Gradio over on Instagram sent in a hot take saying the main events should have been John Cena versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship and CM Punk versus Cody for the WWE Championship. So, personally, I love Cody and Cena, and I've loved what they've done. A Cena heel turn, it is brilliant. I wish Cena was there a couple of weeks more, but the actual booking behind it, I do absolutely love. I agree with you on the world title picture. I don't really think, and I'm sorry, guys, I still don't really think Gunther and Jey Uso is necessarily a WrestleMania World Championship match. What I would have done would be to have Jey Uso win the belt at Saturday night's main event, then defend against Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble, the feud that they were building, and then have Drew McIntyre win that. It would have been a very short run for Jey Uso, a Jeff Hardy-like short run, but I think it would have been fun and would have sold tons of merch anyway. Then at WrestleMania, you do the four-way that I pitched for months and months and months. World Heavyweight Champion Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. Then those four guys main eventing night one makes a lot more sense. The World Championship is involved. It elevates that title massively as well by having it involved in a picture with those four guys. That is personally what I would have done if I had the pen. But as for Punk and Cody, I'm happy with Cody and Cena. What about you, Sol?
That's not me. It's not aged 20 years.
Throwback.
Here we are.
So if people are going to be wondering, like, what would have Roman and Seth done? I would have done, if this was the card, what I would have done in my position, and if I had that, Punk and Cody, Gunther and Cena, Roman and Seth in Hell in a Cell. That's what I would have done. Let's talk about Gunther and Cena first, right? This would have absolutely been fine and worked well if Cena was still a face. Wouldn't have worked if he was a heel. With that dynamic, we have to go off that he's in the right match. It would have done great for the World Heavyweight Championship being the last belt he's won, like what Sting's done with the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It kind of gives them a bit of prestige and an element of historical relevance with it. You know, the last belt that Cena ever held with his record-breaking reign. That's kind of an interesting concept. But obviously the WWE Championship is obviously a higher tier belt, so you kind of want to go on the biggest prize you have. Cody and Punk would have worked if Punk won and did a heel turn at the end of it, and maybe did a Money in the Bank 2011 spot at the end of it, running away with the belt. I think that could have worked. But I think the matches we got are, honestly, I think they are the right ones. I think Cody and Cena is the best one you could do logistically with hardcore and newbie wrestling fans. The guy who came back and became the prodigal son versus the long-term older prodigal son now having a bit of an emo phase. So you have that works, and it's a good match that is selling. Like Cena's got this tour thing that he sold so many replica belts, and the time is now, or the time is here shirts that have been selling off the shelves of every event they've gone to across the world at this point. The thing with Jey and Gunther is I know some people don't like it. Some people think that it should, like what you said, Allison, with the four heavy hitters of Seth, Roman, Punk, and Drew. What I see for the World Heavyweight Championship is that they're giving it to a guy who you can't deny had, from the moment he's embraced heat after that press conference with Cody Rhodes winning the tag titles, has been popular. Even with his short Intercontinental reign, people were popularized with that. People loved them for that. Still getting massive reaction. From seeing in person of the Yeet stuff, I may be old and shriveled and tired, but I still can see how it's popular with the youth nowadays. It's connected. People love it. And you put the belt on the guy who's going to give you the most money and the most draw. At the end of the day, it is a business after all. And that's the story you want to tell. For the World Heavyweight Championship, it always will be an uphill battle because that belt will always be seen as second tier. It will be a belt that probably lasts for a couple of years, might be unified, might be defunct, might be gone to the wind, and then they bring it back in some version down the line. It's always going to happen to this belt, but you need to make it in the moment, make it mean something, and you're putting it on the guy who's getting the biggest reactions, the biggest draw into you. So, and heck, have him hold it for maybe 2 or 3 months. By that time, Braun Breaker's going to win it, or somebody else is going to win it, because obviously we have to think about Crown Jewel in the future. Who's Cena going to face for the Crown Jewel Championship and the little ring thing come that time as well? Because I don't think it will be Jey Uso. I think it's going to be somebody else by that time, because I don't think he's holding it for that long.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I don't think he will have a long reign at all. Numero one Superfly agrees with me on night one, but says night two should have been Randy versus Cody, my original prediction, which I got so very wrong, and Cena versus Braun Breaker. I love Cena versus Braun Breaker, and I do think we will get that match down the line. Fernando agrees with your take, Sol, but Clark, I want to get yours. What would you do if you had the pen for this?
We've all been playing too much universe mode lately. I get the new game's good, but like, what in the world are we doing here, guys? Come on, man. The two matches presented, like, please. No. Like, Punk Cody sounds delightful on paper, but like, Punk Rollins is the match that we wanted. Anyway.
No, it wasn't. It was the four-way. Get it right.
No, yeah, sorry. Cena and Gunther on his big losing streak. Knock it off. Cena hasn't beaten anybody. Let's have him beat the ultimate test. Like, no. That story makes no sense either. I hate to be critical, but you might as well have just sent in the take. Like, I just don't like Jey Uso, which is fair. You're entitled to your opinion on that. I personally like Jey Uso. Don't think he had the main event. Thought it was a bit of a whiff post Rumble to print main event Jey Uso on the t-shirt. It's a bit of a whoopsie daisy. But at the same time, it's a solid match. I enjoy it. They're going to put on a show. Has it been the greatest build? No, but the other main events in the top of the card looks nothing short of delightful. And what they've done with Cena has brought in as many eyeballs as basically anything the WWE's done in one calendar year since Cody Rhodes finished the story. Everyone talked about it. There's no denying that. I wouldn't change much outside of I just wish there was some real specifics around what the three in the main event on night one are fighting for. That's what I would change. I've said it numerous times on this very program. We know that, Ben. Thanks a lot.
Well, that is it.
I didn't need to be reminded. I still believe it would be nice if it was like, listen, the winner gets the winner of whichever title at Backlash or at blank. Something. Just give me a little bit extra on the line. Just give me a little bit extra. I get it. That's fair. And I'm not mad about it. I'm going to enjoy the match. I don't have to wear a blindfold for Cena and Cody because it's not what I thought it was going to be. I said if it was babyface versus babyface, I would wear a blindfold. It's not babyface versus babyface. I do not have to wear a blindfold. No, I said very specifically what I said. You can go back and look at the clip. If it's babyface versus babyface, I'll wear a blindfold. It is not that, so I do not have to wear a blindfold. I'm cool with where we're at, truthfully. I'm stoked about where we're at. And for me, the idea of trying to get Punk a title match, Punk and Cody is cool to think about and whatnot. I think that would have been harder to build than what we've built thus far. I do believe that I think night one, the way it's looking thus far, is going to be the better card of the two. After we watch both, on paper, night two looks a little more stacked in some regards, obviously given the main event as well, but I do think night one will play out in a shocking way, and the finish will be pretty darn electric in Vegas. That's something I'm really looking forward to. So I wouldn't change a thing, to be honest, because the other thing is, one thing I really did appreciate about 40, despite the fact that, of course, I was rooting for Roman to take everybody's lunch money again. But one thing I really enjoyed was the way that night one linked to night two. It doesn't have to be perfect in that regard, the way it was, where it directly affects night two, but they did feel cohesive in a way where, like, as a fan, you had the opportunity to sleep on the results of night one before night two to build anticipation. And I'm expecting WWE Creative and Triple H and the booking and everybody to capitalize on that aspect once again, because you can't deny how important it was. And the same thing can apply to 39, where we were at, right? The way that the Usos and Owens versus Zayn affected the next night, the way it led us into the next night was very brilliant. I do think there will be more storytelling on night one than we expect. And that's something I'm really looking forward to.
Fair enough. I mean, we got a few comments over on Instagram. EsWiggle6 agrees with you, Clark, that one of Cena's last matches, he got pinned by Solo Sikoa. That is absolutely true. His last singles match, in fact. But what's the difference between him facing Cody and Gunther then? Because Cody beat Gunther, so surely Cody's actually a tougher opponent to beat.
I would absolutely agree with the fact that he's a tougher opponent. The idea of Gunther being like the big bad monster and just traditional babyface Cena, I wouldn't have bought into it.
I think it makes sense, but
I wouldn't have bought into it.
What we've done is better. What we've done is better. I wouldn't have
bought into, like, now Cena has to overcome again, because I know what Cena's track record is. He's chasing a record. You can't tell two stories at the same time. Right? I know he's a dominant former champion.
That's true. That's a good point.
What I'd quickly say about that is like, yeah, Cody is the most popular, but if you look historically, like, Gunther is technically more of a threat, longest reigning NXT UK champion, longest reigning Intercontinental champion, multiple reigns that go over multiple hundreds of days, longer than stuff that Cena's done. I mean, it's like a what was it you guys do for like your UFC power rankings, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
so-
pound for pound.
He'd be below because he lost to Cody now. So he'd have gone below. He'd be washed.
The thing is, like, maybe in a way, but like, I kind of look about it as like, who's done more historical things and who's got the more achievements? Somebody that's got 2 record-breaking title reigns that, out of the title's history, or somebody that's won 2 back-to-back Royal Rumbles, main event. It's a mucky thing, and it's
Yeah,
purely
no, okay,
it's
that's
purely-
a fair
Well,
point.
my favorite is like Cena's chasing this like all-time record. To your point, when we're talking about stats, soul, it's like he still had to lose the belt 16 times to be able to win it that many times.
Yeah, I wanted Gunther to make a
Like,
point
it's
out of
not
that.
like it's
I
the
wanted
greatest
Gunther
stat
to
of all
be
time.
like, oh, so what? You won it 16 times. I held it longer.
Yeah.
And then, my IC title reign was longer than all of your reigns combined or something like that.
That can be fun.
Numero one, not numero one. C Squared says John Cena will win the 17th title. Could well happen. Fernando says that he wanted Seth versus Roman to
I
have
will
their own
say,
story and then Punk versus Cody.
if Gunther did the I won the one title you couldn't and held it forever, that might have been a good story. Now that I'm thinking about it,
there was a story
that
to
just
tell,
clicked
but
in
what
my
they're telling
mind
is
there.
also
Yeah,
good.
like I won the one title that you didn't, and I held it forever.
For longer than you had any of your titles for. Ezra Goals said babyface versus babyface would have been way better. Wow. Cena dethroning Cody would have helped transition to a corporate Cody heel backed by The Rock. The issue is, I did say it before. I do think Cody's selling way too much merch and doing way too much numbers for the company for them to turn him heel right now. They'll turn him heel eventually, no doubt about it. But I actually think we're talking years, not months.
At the end of the day, with booking, you'll always have to look at the business side first before story.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% on that one. But Master Kmo7 says, do you think The Rock is going to show up? I mean, surely, I don't know. I don't know. It could be either way, couldn't it?
He's not.
Given the
I
Raiders,
think he will. I think he
given
will.
the Raiders connection in Allegiant Stadium, I would all but guarantee he makes an appearance.
I think he's going to help Cena win. I think there'll be tons of run-ins like last year and he'll help Cena win. Because no way will it be cleaner. At least, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows anything anymore? I'm hyped anyway, guys. It is WrestleMania week. The best week in the calendar year for the sport of professional wrestling. Thank you to Soul. Thank you to Clark for joining me here today. We will be back same time, same place tomorrow to talk about Monday Night Raw. Plus, in 1 hour and 16 minutes on this very YouTube channel, I am going to be breaking down this WrestleMania weekend, Thursday to Sunday, the independent shows I recommend for you guys to watch. So make sure to check out that video when it comes out in exactly 1 hour and 16 minutes. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Oh, God.